All right, I wanted to let everyone know, and I think they want to let everybody know that their main message right now is if they suspect any single thing, then we're not going to be able to do what we came to do. Okay? They even at some point said if they suspect any single thing, we're fucked, which is bullshit. What they're doing is they're heightening their desperation. They're letting them know up front, okay, this is what we're going to do. You know what I mean? And so it has to do with the complexity of the new constitution that we came up with, which is easily thousands of different things. I wouldn't say thousands, but probably getting up there. You know, I submitted it to ChatGPT and they said that there was thousands of things on there. So, but this goes to what happened with Egypt. The laws and commands and everything that Moses put forward was so complex. The entire book of Leviticus and all this kind of stuff. If you read that, you'll find that what was happening was that they were having to be so what they did in Egypt was, oh look, this is your form of oppression. This is what they're doing right now. It's, look, the drug war is your form of oppression, and look, Pizzagate is your form of oppression. And they have organized child kidnapping rings. Seriously, it's so fucking crazy. It goes all the way to the top. Anyways, the point of the story is this. So that's what they're saying. Say, look at this, and then now this is similar to Egypt. This is what I'm gonna do, and then do it. You know what I mean? So in other words, you can get as desperate as you want, but I'm going to do it anyways. You know what I mean? So what that does is just gets us, it gets us in the mood for change or something, So, but anyways, because people need that. They need that violence in their life for some reason. You know what I mean? They're mad, So, but it's crazy because we cannot know how crazy it's going to get. We really can't. Here's another thing. It's going to get pretty fucking crazy. They're going to have me, for one, wipe out an entire city with airstrikes. Their police department, with others, conspired against me because I was taking the same route every time I wasn't thinking about it. And they even set precedent, and they had somebody come in and go through it first who had been in the military, who was Jewish. And set the precedent for this type of thing. And then, so when I went through there, then it was already, it was a big scandal, right? Really by now. But a lot of people have read my book, but they won't let me see how many people. But either way, I know it's a lot of people. But anyways, the point of it is just, yeah, this is crazy. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the same thing as Egypt, killed all the children. They did it themselves, killed all the children in Egypt, killed a bunch of children in Egypt, So that's, I don't know. It's just, right now what they're doing is making it obvious that they themselves are doing it. It may look like I'm doing it, but they're going through all this stuff to make that that I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? So, but the point of the story is that here's the deal. When you hear something like that, you go, oh yeah, great, this is gonna be great. You know what I mean? They're gonna get my enemies and all this stuff. You don't know who they're gonna get. You know what I mean? They released all those plagues, all those frogs, all that stuff. The slaves themselves were in there having to deal with that on top of the slavery. You know what I mean? Just for them to make their point. You understand? And so, don't expect that you're going to, expect the unexpected. That's what I would say. Bizarre shit is going to happen, because they're mimicking human behavior at the point of outrage. You see what I'm saying? So when you're at the point of total outrage, then you're not even going to be able to. You're not even going to do anything. You may not even fuck that person. You may go and fuck somebody. I bet you give a shit about this person. You know what I mean? Just it it's something that people do when, like, sometimes when you get so mad, you just want to leave the other person confused. I don't even know if you know what I'm talking about. Because there's a point of anger that you can get to where if you could just leave the other person confused as to whether or not and then just be totally confused, like, you want them to think you're crazy at that point. You know what I mean? I don't even know. It's just like you just want to shock them, shock their conscience. You know what I mean? Like, leave them stunned. Like, I don't even know, like, what the fuck just happened. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, but anyways, yeah. So, but anyways, that's I think very important to them that message is going out right now. You know, if they suspect anything at all, we're not going to be able to do what we came to do. And while there is collateral damage similar to the way that it worked in Egypt, right? They, during the course of all that, they never targeted the Pharaoh, you know? And so what I'm saying is that at this point in time, I think that the reason that they were like that was because they were more primitive, and probably with everything that they had done with the pyramids and everything, probably built the pyramids just to get people in a state of being willing to go along with something, even if it was just like having laws. But even though it's just one person giving it to you, you know what I mean? I would think maybe that's what was going on. And so they weren't going to just go in there and like, this is the guy who did it, and then just like chain him up and just start burning him alive or something. And everybody, yeah, and just leave. Because they were already emotionally tied to that guy, you know? So, yeah. And maybe that was more human nature at that point, to be more blindly obedient of the government, you know? So, but at this point, I think it's a little different. I think they're essentially, they're saying different stuff. They're saying, oh yeah, we can go be friends with that guy. And then they take it back. And then now they're just cranking it up all day long. You know what I mean? Just, I think they're just fucking with them in front of us. You know what I mean? Like they're just toying with them. You know? And at this point, they're just basically saying, we don't have to hide what we're up to. We're just going to let you know that. Okay? And what they're going to do is, I don't even know. They might be up to some degree of misdirection with all this. But that would be more for my sake, probably, to just get me through it alive than it would be for what, their personal concerns are for themselves. And what they probably could get done anyways, even without me here. But just the fact that I'm Jesus Christ, then they need me alive. But, I mean, obviously it's not a good idea. Look, I wouldn't do that. I know enough. I've read enough the strategy if I was going to kill you, I wouldn't fucking tell you that. There was a dude for a couple years who I was actually thinking about killing, and I was sure to never say anything about it in the open, knowing that I was going to be in control of the government, which is fucked up. Anyways, But that's because I know that kind of stuff. Now, with what they're doing, see, I don't want y'all to get preoccupied and start thinking you have some chance to fuck with me in life. Okay, because that'd be wasting our tax dollars on some shit that you don't need to be wasting them on. You know what I mean? Over some thinking that man, now I think we got him. Now I think we got him. This is what they're stupid. Only the stupid people are left. Anyways, look, the point of the story is I don't know. It's a lot of, you know what? At this point, it's a whole lot of I'm here to get you. You know what I mean? I'm here to get you. That's literally it. That's what they're doing. I'm here to get you. And so much to the point of, well, now, if you find out about it, I think I might be fucked. Have me send this straight to them, you know what I mean? If you find out that I'm here to get you, then I might not be able to. It's basically like watching Friday the 13th. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and these motherfuckers have no way out of it. And this dude's just walking up on him slow. You're just like, oh my God, you're going to kill that person. You're going to kill that person, aren't you? Don't kill that person, but you can't get away from it. And that's just, a little bit, that's a lot different than what they went through in Egypt. I don't know what to make of that. Same rationale though, irrational, almost really just so angry. I'm taking this out in an irrational way. They're coming for the people at the top, and then on top of it, they're going after there's all kinds of collateral damage. How many people are going to die, you know what I mean, in Decatur? Because we're going to go through there with an airstrike and just blow them off the map. Over that, I think what I really wanted to say was, you tell them that up front. You know what I mean? It's like they're telling these people. You know what I mean? They're telling, and that's how they do it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna kill you for real, and then do it. You know what I mean? That's like corner the subject and then taunt them and then execute. You know what I mean? You won't find that in the Bible anywhere else, except for Egypt. Now they do come through and kill a lot of people, but usually there's different kind of reasons for it, and they don't do it the same way. It's not like up front and then priming the front. I'm gonna let everybody know first. You know what I mean? And then we're gonna do it in the most fucked up way possible, and that's just, I don't know. It to me is so crazy, man. So crazy. Anyways, but yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. So, and a lot of craziness has already been done to me personally. You know what I mean? A lot, and by them directly. And that just shows you the craziness of it. You know what I mean? But they're pointing at crazy things that happened. Look at that little kid getting raped, organized shit. You know what I mean? And then how do you feel about that? You want crazy shit. But the fucking thing of it is that you don't really want to see me get hit, but you want that. Because unlike in Egypt, the outrage that they had to work with was you're being held in slavery, and that is bad. But now they have something totally much more powerful than that, with the child, the organized. Oh my God! And the thing about it is that there's gonna be so much craziness comes out of that, and that's just part of it. You know what I mean? I mean, they've said the craziest stuff out of that, and they've done the craziest stuff out of that. I believe a lot of it is coming out of that. You know what I mean? You know, because they need certain things to happen, but they don't. I don't think need to go about it the way that they're going about it, with the most crazy shit. They've done the craziest shit to me. You know what I mean? And for things that I don't even think that there wasn't a reason for it. You know what I mean? And I'm supposed to be Jesus Christ. You know? I mean, or I am Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So, people got mad at me for saying that. Something like that. But, yeah, I'm Jesus Christ. But the thing about it is that, think about it. You know? I'm Jesus Christ, and they treat me like that. That's what I'm saying. They need so much changes, and they have so much animosity to work with. It's like being in the middle of I don't know what you would call it, but it's like being in a tornado or something. You know what I mean? It's just somewhere near the center of it, where it's going really nuts. And what I'm saying is that even me, I'm in there getting ripped around in the tornado. Jesus Christ. You know what I mean? So, anyways, just and they do need stuff. They need it to look like they're in control and bring me to that point, but I don't know if they needed all that. I really don't. Now I'm starting to see what's going on. Oh yeah, it's just crazy. Totally crazy.